Hey, this is Bruce Trujillo with another Indie 1023 session at home. My guest today, Jason Singer. We know him as Michigander, and lots to talk about today. New single out called Let Down, which we've been hearing on Indie 1023. Also, the ushering in of a new era of Michigander and a new EP on the way. Jason, thanks so much for joining me.
Oh yeah, thanks for wanting to chat.
Absolutely. Let's start with talking about Let Down. The single takes on a realistic look at unrealistic expectations, something that I can, uh, what's the word here? I just totally
Relate.
lost it. Relate. Thank you. Something I can
Yeah.
relate to. Tell me more about reflecting on that and also sharing it through your music.
Yeah, I think I'm a person who's always like overhyped and over romanticized any situation and always thought for like the best. Like even in high school, I thought I would be like done. I always thought like I'd finish high school and then I'd go have a very successful music career and go play arenas within like 2 years. And obviously, that is not the case. And there's a lot to learn and there's a lot. It's a very humbling experience all the time. So I'm constantly I'm an optimist and I'm always looking for the best and hoping for the best. And usually that leads to some letdown feelings. Uh, no pun intended.
And I feel like this is one that people can relate to. Have you gotten a lot of good feedback on this one? I know it was released during quarantine, but you still hear back from your fans quite often, yeah?
Yeah. It is different though, like not being on the road and seeing people every night or most nights because I think that's really when you know the music connects is when we play the show, and I really consider myself like a live band, and like me and the guys are like we're a live band, and that's kind of how the band was built. And so now having no shows and just having like these kind of things, which are fun and good to like get out there and talk, it really makes me feel kind of normal in these weird times. Um, I think that people have really liked the song. A lot of people are like, "Did you write that during this?" I'm like, "No, it was written like before." And like we started all this recording for the new music like in January, and then we just wrapped it up like remotely or like in small sessions. So yeah, I people I think have liked it. I hope. Yeah, it's very exciting to have the new music out.
We're certainly appreciative of it. Two new singles out now, actually. So Let Down and 48.
Yeah.
And you recently said that this is actually a new era for Michigander because this project started out solo, but it has expanded. Tell me more about Michigander, the solo project evolving into this band.
It's definitely more of a it's still like a solo project. Like I write everything and have like the big structure, but it's been more collaborative and having more friends in the studio and more friends in the writing process even a little bit now with my guitarist Jake, and for so long it was just this revolving cast of characters in the band like for years and years since like 2014, and for like the last 2 years it's been like the same three other guys besides myself, and those and by having that consistency it's created like this change in the sound and the way we play shows, and like the live band's like better than ever, which is a bummer because we can't really show it off. But yeah, it is a more it's still a solo project, but it's a lot more collaborative, and I've like let my walls down a little bit and like let people in, and it's been very cool, and I think it really made the best songs I've ever made.
And you had almost kind of quit the Michigander project after last year's EP. Where do we go from here? Do you think the inclusion of these bandmates kind of being there more full time helped keep it going?
I think I was going to want to quit the band before after like the first EP, and I thought that like if this next EP, which is Where Do We Go From Here, doesn't get any attention and nobody cares about it, I feel like I've hit a ceiling. And then shortly after that, we there's a song called Misery that got like some attention, and we had like a whole management team now and a label and everything, and so I mean that really changed my opinions on whether to kind of quit or not. So I don't feel that way now. I feel more energized and more excited than ever, and I'm glad I didn't give up. I'm very excited for what's next.
Yeah, we are too. And you kind of touched base on this a little bit, but how is writing now with more folks involved? Kind of also having like a consistent group of pals basically to
Yeah.
bounce ideas off of.
Well, I'm mostly been writing with my guitar player Jake Lamond, and he's a solo writer, a fantastic musician, himself, and he is. I think that for years I tried to write with other people, and nothing ever clicked, and so I was always very like at an arm's length from people to like work with and collaborate with. But when me and Jake started, like, I was just like, yeah, we can try it, and it actually clicked and it worked, and so Jake's been like a very integral part of the band. Uh, he has like some writing credits on the next EP, which I'm so excited for people to hear, and especially those songs. I think he really took some songs that I was like in a rut with, and helped me figure them out to finish. So yeah, I have like Jake's like my sidekick, or but that's kind of a demeaning term. Jake's one of my best friends, and all the guys are, and it's really cool to have people that care enough to get in a van with me for like however long and not make a lot of money doing it, but it's still a lot of fun.
You're still making the music. And so,
Yeah,
since you mentioned it, we got to talk about EP3. You also
yeah,
recently tweeted about it, so that's how I learned about this. What can you tell us about the this upcoming music?
yeah. I like I said, it's I think it's the best music I've ever made. It was I've never spent this much time on something or even had like the budget to do that or like the resources at all to like spend like months and months and months. And then with COVID, like we even got more time to work on it. So like it's like 95% done, and we're just kind of waiting on the final mixes and like and get it mastered. And then I hope it'll be out in March or April. It's like 6 new songs. A letdown will be on it as well. And it's a little bit. It's the most guitars that I've ever put on anything are on these songs, and a lot of samples and a lot of like it's just a very a lush sound. I think each record becomes like a little better, and this is like maybe 2 steps better than just one. So I'm thrilled about it. I think it's almost perfect.
Awesome. And so,
Yeah.
it's safe to say you're kind of experimenting on this one a little bit more and kind of
Yeah.
branching out on your sound.
Yeah, I think I used to only write for the live show, and now I'm kind of like I kind of got a computer and like synths and stuff, and so I was like, I don't want to completely be like abandon my guitar rock stuff, pop rock, whatever you want to call it, genre. But I want to try to write more like are just different songs that don't need to be just like 4 chords strumming nonstop. So I think there's like the instrumentation and the arrangements and everything. There's like we have like people playing horns, people playing strings. Brought in like my friend Megan to sing. We've never had like a female vocalist on anything, which I think gives a few of the songs like a totally new vibe, and it's really exciting to hear.
All right. Were you also able to recently play a live show for like a benefit or something?
Yeah, we had to play 2 shows in like the last couple of months. We played at Lincoln Hall in Chicago with Audio Tree, and did like a live stream, and then we did a drive-in show also in Chicago with Mount Joy, and it was that playing that drive-in show was like it felt like we approached it as if it was the first time we've ever played, but also as the last like this could be the last time we ever played, knowing that it last time for a while at least, and it was incredible. Mount Joy have been like so good to me and like having me out as much as possible, and so it was just really cool to play for the first time in like 7 months to real people.
Right. You said before you are mostly a live show type
Mhm.
of artist. What is the best part of live shows for you?
I think like it like a day of a show, like if you're on tour, is like you drive like anywhere from 3 to 8 hours, and then you get to a show and you load in and all this stuff just to play for an hour. So like the majority of your day is surrounding the gig is not involved with music at all. But then I think getting on stage after driving all day and loading in and eating at some random restaurant, some random town, and like sitting in like a dirty green room forever, and then finally being able to go out on stage, like that just makes it so much better. And I think that will kind of translate with COVID times, and like when we get out of this and we get back to shows, like I can't imagine how good it's gonna feel to like have a real packed club show. And I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, as are we. So hopefully that will happen with EP3 again coming out this
Yeah,
spring. And we are impatiently waiting for that to come out. Jason, AKA Michigander, thank you so much for the chat.
of course. Thank you so much for wanting to chat.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.